What's up? It's Robert, and what I want to talk to you about today is how this regular toilet paper tube reminded me of a human body. And how is that? Well, if you really think about it, so I've got this pistachio here, right? When we eat food, it's like if this is our mouth, put the food in our mouth, the food passes through the GI tract, so it's all like twisted up. But if you pull it out and elongate it, then it's essentially one long tube. So the food goes in transit, it gets all the vitamins and the minerals get absorbed into the tube, right? Whatever can't get absorbed then passes out the other end. Ew. Just kidding. And I mean, that's basically the process of digestion. But I mean, one point is like, okay, so is what we think of as our insides, like our GI tract, is that really our insides? Like is our intestines really our inside? Or do the nutrients get absorbed into the inside of our body, like the real inside, right? Which is like the bloodstream and all that. I don't know. And so also, it's like, all right, do we just go around the planet like just passing things like through our body like over and over? Like are we humans just like moving around like, oh, here's a pebble of food, like whoop, pass through? Like it's kind of weird to think about it that way. All right, but the reason I'm making this video is I'm going to put this under the category of biological contingency, because even though we are not just our body, right, we do have a mind, our body is really like it's critical. So we're dependent or contingent on our body and the functioning of our body. So if something goes wrong in the tube and you cannot absorb like the nutrients, that's a problem, right? So part of the suffering that can come from things like colon cancer, I think at least part of it can be relieved from this correct understanding of the human being as like, okay, well, we are dependent on the functioning of this, our body, right? Before like science, before people like understood the different organs and the digestive organs and everything, it was kind of like, oh, it's a human being, like this cool, like big thing, right? It's a person, right? It's a person. And then, the person gets colon cancer and it's like, oh no, like how could the universe, God, whatever, how could they let this happen? And it's almost like those statements are said oblivious to the fact that there are systems inside, like digestive systems and everything inside the body. So it's sort of a fundamental of the existence first philosophy to understand that humans are biologically contingent. Second point, I mean, just as a funny like critique of society, it's kind of funny how we go around and like we'll sit at like a fancy restaurant in such a civilized manner, like sit our tubes down and then look through a menu and use our brain to like pick something that we want to pass through the tube. And I don't know, it's just, and then we have a server come and like bring the food on a nice plate, and then we put the food like through the tube. It's just, I don't know. And then the other point is, of course, things like colon cancer actually, I've read, have been shown to correlate with healthy diets. So if you want the tube to last as long as possible, then it's pretty important to watch what goes through the tube and to be mindful of that, because inevitably with age, this tube is going to wrinkle, it's going to tear, it's going to get old, but that's the process of life, right? This is the human body. So that's all for today. It's a basic understanding, and it's an example of the principle of biological contingency. If this video is helpful, make sure you share it, and of course subscribe, because there are plenty more to come.